So, hi. Thanks, Dave. I just did that because I feel like everybody should say hi, right? Because, we're here together, we're doing this. This story is an oldie. I don't know if it's a goodie, it's an oldie. And if I get some of the facts wrong, I just want everybody to know that I did it to make the story better. So, in the summer of 1994, I was living in the District of Columbia, as we like to say. It makes it longer than just DC. DC, it sounds really like a comic book, and that's really shitty. It's a whole city. So it's the District of Columbia, and I lived there. I went to college there, and I just graduated. And in 1994, it was the World Cup, which, if you don't know, is this really, really big soccer shindig. And I had no fucking idea. I'd never, I try to preface most stories with I will probably swear a whole bunch because, like Dee said, I have 4 small children, and this is my chance. Okay, so I had no idea what this thing was, the World Cup, and if I had opened my freaking eyes, I probably would have seen all these beautiful international, shirts and scarves and all the stuff all the different teams wear, but we had no idea at all. We were just like these 3 gal roommates, graduated from college, trying to find a job, maybe find a dude, or a gal, who knows, and get on with our lives. Now we were in the prime of it. We were done with school, so, we were going out on the weekends or the weekdays or whenever we had a chance. And so one of our favorite places to go was actually on the water in DC. It was called Sequoia. Woo. At the time, it was really, it was really nice. It was really new at the time, and we just, we kind of calculated that it sort of had the least douchebags per capita, because the District of Columbia is full of douchebags. And you go out, they happy hour, as if their livers won't live past 7:30 p.m. It's really, really crazy, and it's really hard to meet somebody. So we were out at Sequoia, which is really nice, which also means it's super expensive. What did that mean to us? $5 Budweisers, which in 1994 was $24. But we didn't care, it was worth it. You drank a little, box wine at home, you were prepped for the night. So this one particular night, we're out on this deck area. It was this big deck bar area, and in walk these 4 guys. And there's just these certain people that it's these 4 guys were the most attractive men I had ever seen in my entire life. They were not just they were robots created for a movie. They were giant, beautiful giraffes with gazelle faces because they were too beautiful to really be giraffes. And they were just towering over everyone, and you just expected the whole bar to part and be gasp. And they were go fuck yourself, handsome. No, literally, go fuck yourself, because no one here is worthy of you. You are that beautiful. And they started talking to us. 3 East Coast gals, 1 small, medium, large, tall, medium, short. Brown hair, black hair, blonde hair. Nanny, bartender, student. Real, regular gals. They were members of the Dutch soccer team. The World Cup Dutch soccer team. Yeah, now you get it. These weren't just fucking giraffes, they were Dutch giraffes. So, we're talking, and shockingly enough, we were all really enjoying ourselves. We were just talking, they're smiling, they were these giant Dolph Lundgrens talking down to these I'm sorry, I'm gonna make them sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger probably, because if not, then I'm just gonna do Swedish Chef, and that would be really insulting. So, they would just ha ha ha, and look down at you, and you're oh, you look like Dolph Lundgren if you ever smiled, you're just so, and they were really, really sweet. And the main guy I was talking to, his name was Jan, not yawn, like John with a ah in there. And I'm sure I just told him all kinds of fascinating stories about, I don't know, my senior thesis. The difference between short fiction and sudden fiction, and then some of those little real nuances, and how you can remember that a gimlet is made with a lime because the word lime is in the word gimlet. So, shockingly enough, we all lasted until last call. When last call came, everybody needed to get home. I really do not know where my roommates ended up, but I ended up in my blue Corolla full of giant Dutch giraffes. And I was bringing them back to their hotel, and they wanted to see more of the sights. And because I was too cheap to actually buy drinks at this bar, I was sober enough to drive around. So we went down, probably down Connecticut Avenue and past the mall and the White House. And if you take that and you go down to the Lincoln Memorial, you can actually cross the bridge, do this beautiful traffic circle, and come back into the city. So you get to see it 2 times. And if you guys have been to DC at night, if you've been to DC, it's really beautiful anyway, and all the buildings. But at night, it's just perfect. It's like picture postcard, glued to picture postcard, glued to picture postcard, because it's very dark and very quiet, and just these huge blasts of white on all the monuments. So they were pretty impressed, they should be. It's a gorgeous gallon of blue Corolla. By the monuments. So I took them back to their hotel, and the 3 of them get out. Thank you, it's nice to meet you, thank you. I was like, good luck with your game, I don't know. And Jan stays in the front seat, and his head is squished, his head is at the roof of the car. And I'm sure he said some great line I want to see more. And I was probably what? And he's like, I want to see the Capitol, I want to see it up close. I was like, Jan, the reason we drove around is because it's 2:45 in the morning, and you'd get arrested if you went up to the Capitol. And he's like, no, we won't. We'll just walk. We'll just see it. And I was like, all right. So we park the car, we walk over, and we're just, walking along the edge. So the Capitol is, don't think about it as the Capitol, the backside, which is where they have the inauguration. Sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they're bigger. But the other side is actually the entrance, and there's the middle where you see them, all the guys walk down to make their announcements, and women walk down to make their announcements. And the right-hand side is the Senate side, the left-hand side is the House of Representatives. So I just kept sort of pushing them around the perimeter, we could just go behind these trees and we can kind of go over here. So we end up sort of towards the House of Representatives side. And more than once, a golf cart security whizzed by us. And I'd be like, we're gonna get caught. And this guy wasn't fazed at all. When he said he wanted to get closer, he wanted to get closer. So he takes my hand and we run up the stairs of the House of Representatives. See, thank you for gasping, because my husband didn't think this was shocking. It's shocking that I did this, okay? So we get up the stairs. Now, this is a lot of stairs. I want you all, when you get home, I don't care how many drinks you have, Google the Capitol and count how many flipping stairs there are. It's probably about 115. It was a lot. So you get up and you kind of go up a little, and then you go up another little level, and there was a deck. And somehow we get all the way up to this porch area. And I am not a world-class soccer player, so I am wildly out of breath, obviously. Also terrified that we're going to get arrested. But once we got up there, and another golf cart comes by, and we're trying to look in windows, but then duck, and so we somehow sort of hunkered down. And so the opposite of the way I was describing how the monuments look at night, which is everything is dark and they're so lit up. When you're on the other side of it, there's so much light pouring at you. Everything is dark in front of you. So at the same time that this was terrifying, and I'm waiting to get arrested and thrown in the congressional pokey, which I'm pretty sure there's an actual jail in the basement of that Congress, I was mesmerized by this. And it was quiet, and it was all blackness, and it was like we were on our own little, vacuum. by ourselves. It was like our own little porch. I mean, it was like Cracker Barrel. But it's even bigger than a Cracker Barrel porch, for real. But it was marble, and I was there with a Dutch soccer player. So it was private enough to start making out. So that happened, and that was great until I realized that there was a security camera pointed directly at us. And in my mind, I feel like it had a little face and it was buzzing, like, there you are, or whatever. But it probably didn't. But the words that came into my head were, now there's a tape. Because if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, like me, in the 70s, it was like CNN, Ollie North, Anita Hill, Zoe Baird, you're gonna get caught for something, paranoia, and everything was on tape. Like, everything, every movie. Well, we found the tape. Everything was on tape. It wasn't just like, we have an eyewitness testimony. Nope, we have a tape. So, all the lovey-dovey business that a Dutch soccer player can produce was not enough for my insane paranoia to start creeping into my head. I had just graduated from college. I was fully expecting to be poet laureate within the next 10 years. And at some point, I would need to be vetted by Congress. I mean, or I'd be assistant attorney general or something. I would be something very vague. And so, I can only imagine what that Senate confirmation hearing would be, considering there's this tape of me out there somewhere. I imagine it would go a little something like this. Are you denying that you trespassed with a foreigner on the Capitol grounds, trying to break into the House of Representatives? No, that's not correct. Would you then lead us to believe that you are not capable of illegal activity? Yes, I would do that. Well, Susan, could you hand me that? We have proof that you were found streaking behind your dorm. This is a police report from American University Security in 1992. Well, we were pretty intoxicated at the time. Were you intoxicated when you shoplifted a pack of gum from the Faye's drugstore in 1979? Susan, could you hand me? Thank you. Well, I was like 7. I think it was all pretty innocent at the time. I couldn't even eat the gum. That's the funny story. I was really too scared. Were you too scared to tell your roommates and friends that you had gone to a national cheerleading competition, but now you act like you're too cool and would never do something so lame? It wasn't lame. We worked really hard, and it's just not really something I'm into. Speaking of things you're into, isn't it true that you own several bodysuits, some of them sleeveless, and overalls, Susan, overalls, and you like to wear them together? Yes, that is true, and I will truly regret that someday. Jan, we need to stop. We need to get out of here, and we need to let my life continue. I said something like that. And so he was like, oh, yes, okay. So we left. I'm like, wow, really? Oh. Guess it wasn't that interesting after all. We head back to the hotel. And he's like, so are you coming up? So, what? No, I'm not coming up. Why? What made you think that? I said, oh, you wanted to get out of there so fast. Oh, no, I was just nervous about my future, I was nervous about getting caught. And he's like, oh, well, I'm nervous too, I have to tell you something. And I was like, oh, okay. I am not actually a member of the Dutch World Cup soccer team. I am a trainer, well actually an assistant to the trainer. And I was like, what? Well, okay, all right, fine. And he said, no, really, I really do. I think you're really nice, and I'd love to hear about some of your short stories. And would you like to come up? And I was pretty adamant. I was like, no, I'm not coming up to your hotel room. I've never been invited to anybody's hotel room, number one. But you probably have a roommate and know that would be inappropriate. And I mean, classically, if you remember me pointing out my paranoia, my mind instantly went to like, I'm not going to some foreign dude's hotel room. This is like a Lifetime movie waiting to happen. I mean, in 2 years, Candace Bergen will be playing my lawyer with some ugly wig, and they'll be talking about extraditing this guy from Dutchland. Netherlands, right, so I refused politely and drove home. And even then, I realized that the city was beautiful, and so was, the nighttime being there. But there was something missing for me, and it wasn't a fake Dutch soccer player, but it was something more for me, and that, no, I probably wouldn't be worrying about a congressional hearing anytime soon. But I'd be taking my life to the next level, wherever it would be. Thank you.